Why did I pick the Vendée Globe? I think because when I first read about the Vendée Globe, it struck me that it was the hardest event in sailing. To sail single-handed, non-stop around the world in a boat that's 60 foot long, that's, you know, a high performance vessel on your own. It was the hardest challenge, and I think that's what attracted me to it in the first place. It's taken me quite literally a whole lifetime to get here. I've been sailing professionally since I was 18, since I left school at 18. So that's now 32 years. You know, it's not been a smooth journey. There've been many challenges along the way. I've learned a lot about myself. I've pushed further than I ever thought that I could. You know, I think the journey to make this happen, to become the skipper and the CEO of a professional elite ocean racing team has, I guess, challenged me in a way that has set me up to be a better sailor. It's all so intertwined. I couldn't separate the two, really. When I started out in the world of sailing, particularly in offshore sailing and inshore racing, I guess, on keel boats, participation by women was less than 3%. So, you know, I was always an outsider. People always questioned my credentials, my potential. And I think I struggled a lot with the fact that I believed I could do something and no one else seemed to believe I was capable of it. And I realised that if I wanted to make my career happen, it had to come from me. I had to create my own opportunities. I had to demonstrate my own potential, and that's what I've done. I'm lucky now in that I sail in a class, the IMOCA class, which specialises in solo ocean racing, where we're very much judged on our merit. And it's amazing to be in a class that has a meritocracy. And I really hope that in the future, kind of being out there and demonstrating that in the field of solo ocean racing, men and women have an equal place at the table. I hope that changes things for women in the future. Building a team over the last 4 years has been an important progression from me being just a solo sailor to establishing one of the top ocean racing teams in the world. And I decided that I wanted to recruit my team from diverse backgrounds. I didn't just want to recruit people who had only worked in the industry, because I always feel that challenging the status quo, bringing new thinking to a situation is a great way to bolster performance. But at the same time, you do need a level of experience and expertise. So I was looking for dual roles within my team, kind of one to challenge and one to provide the kind of well-established wisdom. And the first kind of port of call for me was to find the two people that would support me in leading the team, and that was from an operational point of view and from a technical point of view. So from an operational point of view, I chose Lou Adams to be my operations director. Now, Lou does not come from, career-wise, Lou doesn't come from a conventional sailing background. Her career is leadership within the NHS, so she has led emergency departments, huge emergency departments, through times of incredible stress. So her ability to problem solve, her ability to deal with ever-changing situations, is inherent, but also, she's not afraid to challenge or question ways of doing things. And then from a technical perspective, that's where I really needed that huge level of depth and experience. And then I chose Joff Brown as our technical director. Joff had already worked with me on the 2020 Vendée Globe campaign. We're now coming into his 6th cycle of preparing boats for the Vendée Globe race. That is a huge experience and history, and definitely having him on board to make sure the boat is as good as it should be to go around the world gives me a huge level of confidence. And then kind of the wider team, we went with that global strategy of kind of looking outside the industry. We use experienced subcontractors for kind of topical work when we need it. We look to recruit some entry-level positions 3 years ago for young people who are new into the industry, and then bring them with us through the journey, and we've seen our team kind of develop their skill level and experience. And then we've brought in people from outside the industry to work with us as well, because you can never have enough kind of fresh takes and fresh opinions on how to make things better, how to look at things in a different way. Our journey from finishing the 2020 race to about to start the 2024 race has been an incredibly steep learning curve. We've gone from a fledgling team, you know, our first event in 2022, our first racing event, some of our team, the majority of our team, had never even seen a race start before, let alone prepared a boat for one. So we've gone from kind of this fresh team learning just how to exist to solid top 10 performances in the most competitive IMOCA fleet in history. And I think we've managed to make that transition in 3 years, which is an incredibly fast time. And it's because we have set some really hard objectives. We have not been afraid to be agile in our approach, to pivot quickly, to change our direction if something isn't working. And also I would like to think that we do listen to the diverse opinions from the team. And I would always encourage anybody when building a team to make sure that it is diverse enough to encourage lots of different kinds of thinking and creativity, because that really helps you make rapid improvements. Our strapline is doing it differently, because we do, and we are. It just describes this team very well. I guess from the absolute basics of what you see, we are the only female-led team in class IMOCA, and we're one of the very few female-led professional sports teams. And by female-led, I mean that I am the CEO of the team and I'm also the skipper, so I'm the face of the team, but our operations director, from a business perspective, Lou Adams, is also female, and there aren't many where you have the CEO and the operations director as women. So kind of from the outset we are different in that way. But I think we're also different because I haven't followed the exact same model as everybody else in delivering my campaign. I think quite hard about how we're going to resource things. I'm very keen on doing as much as we can in-house, both to save money but also to build our own skill set. We work with our partners in a very close way, both our sponsorship agreements and our technical partners. For example, we're sitting here now in Poole Harbour, and we have a partnership with Poole Harbour Commissioners, and that kind of works for both of us, and we're always checking in with our partners and making sure that they feel like they're part of the team and they're getting a good return. So I think it's just a way of thinking. Doing it differently is a way of thinking. It's not just blindly following the path of others because that's the way you've been told to do it. It's not being afraid to challenge, accepting good wisdom and following when it's the right thing to do, but when it's not the right thing to do, it's not being afraid to do something else. Within this team, I am both the CEO and the skipper, and what that means from a practical perspective is that I'm responsible for running the business, and that includes raising the funds to race. It includes ultimate responsibility for all of our employees, for all of our contracts with sponsors, and then also the sporting side of things is resting on my shoulders as well. And people who are investing in the team are expecting a result, which means that I need to be able to perform at an international class level in the races that we've entered, and it's a difficult path to tread. I'm constantly being torn between the two roles, because in reality they both should be full-time roles, but that's not the path that's been available to me. Through my career, I have had to set up, create, manage my own teams in order to get the opportunity to be the skipper. And so that's the way I made it work, and so I embrace it. Of course, I would love to be a full-time skipper. I would love it, because I think I would be more rested. I would be more focused. I'd definitely be better. But that's not what's available to me at the moment. The way I manage it is to be very clear about who I am in any given stage. So when I am offshore, I am the skipper. I am totally on the boat. I am totally focused. That is my job. That is where my energy goes. When I'm in an office day, then I am the CEO of the business. Sometimes it's not easy. There are days when the lines are blurred, and then the workload can become difficult. But you just manage hour by hour, day by day. But on the whole, look at where we are. Look at what we've achieved. Look at what we have. I am very privileged to be in this position and really happy. You can't help but look back at the 2020 race and use that. That's the only point of reference that I have as to how the 2024 race will unfold. However, I am also very aware that the 2024 race is going to be completely different. The only thing that's going to be the same is the course. I'm sailing around the world. But this time around, there are 40 boats on the start line. The competition is so tight. Over the last 4 years, we have seen, and I personally have experienced, finishes that are divided by seconds. And we know after a whole Atlantic of racing, boats are still neck and neck. Small mistakes cost you. So I think the intensity and the pressure of racing is going to be different. This boat is a lot faster. It's a lot more aggressive to sail. I'm 4 years older. I'd like to think I'm a little bit wiser. I think my navigation will be better. I have more of an idea of what conditions will look like in the south. But I have no expectation that this race is going to be anything like the last one. It's a fresh slate, and I need to go out and experience it as a new race entirely. I think the 2024 Vendée Globe race is going to be intensely exciting to watch. Over the last 4 years, the fleet has developed in a way we could not have imagined. Who would have imagined that there would be boats flying above the water around the world? I mean, that is insane. But also because the competition is so close, because onboard filming has become easier, because satellite technology is allowing us to send more footage off the boats. I think there's always going to be too much to watch. So I would say stay tuned and strap in for the most incredible ride.